Hi guys, welcome back and thanks for watching another recap of the last 24 hours and the outlook for the next 24. So coming into the trading session today, the market was up, but sentiment was definitely not bullish. It's likely that the reason the market was up was due to a combination of both the buy the dip mentality along with profit taking as we approach the 200-day moving average and tested the 3100 level, and we're also approaching some structure below, which we'll cover in a moment. One of the things that spooked the market today was officials said that they were monitoring 83 people in New York who have recently visited China, although New York Governor Cuomo said the state had seen no confirmed cases so far. On a more positive note, new home sales were at the highest since July of 2007. Reuters reports that, quote, "We need to have more information before the markets have a further correction or get comfortable with things that don't escalate further," said Jason Draho, head of America's asset allocation at UBS Global Wealth Management in New York. He noted that any reports or rumors about cases in large metropolitan areas could have a bigger effect on investor nerves due to the possibility of a faster spreading in a denser population as well as the potential economic impact. Markets will be very jumpy until there's increasing confidence the virus is abating and that it won't be a global pandemic, said Draho, end quote. So those were the primary fundamental drivers of sentiment today. So let's jump in and take a look at the price action. So we've got our daily S&P chart up here with a few moving averages, some levels and a trend line. The MAs are the 200, the 50, and the 20. Ever since we closed beneath the 20-day moving average, we've continued to sell off. We stopped at the 3100 level, and we've just kind of taken a breather. And initially, when we first hit it, we bounced quite a bit, and we'll take a look at that when we look at some smaller time frames. I did add in this trend line. I'm not a big trend line guy, but on a daily time frame, a lot of people tend to watch these. And plus, when it lines up with other things like a former level of resistance that could potentially act as support, when that's in the same region as the 200-day moving average and a trend line, it tends to they reinforce one another just for no other reason than people are paying attention to it. So yeah, this has been a pretty much straight drop. The closest we've had to a retrace so far has been this, and we retested this level pretty much exactly. And we'll see this when we look at the smaller time frames. So this is the daily. Let's take a look at the hourly chart. So I've actually already gone ahead and updated these levels because I tweeted it out before the market opened today, just because it's a little bit more useful that way. So I'm not going to be going through and updating them in the videos. So one thing I wanted to highlight, let's pop back to the daily real quick. This low right here, this from that day where that blue box is, that low is 3181, and that is this level right here. And we tested it very, very nicely. So we broke through there very cleanly, and we went down and tested the 3100 level as we expected, and then we managed to trade up and test that level. This level of resistance has been invalidated, so I'll get rid of that. Aside from that, these levels are pretty much pretty good. So this is the hourly. Let's drop down and take a look at the 5 minutes so we can see what happened during this session. Okay, so this was yesterday's sell-off. Let me get my drawing tool. So we sold off, came down and tested the 3100 level before trading higher. This right here, this candle is the opening candle, and this is an overnight high level. So upon the opening, we spiked this local high before breaking it. We then went ahead to break through the overnight high, came back down and tested it. Actually, as soon as it broke, it retested the level and then rallied a good 20 points. Came back down, looked like it was going to test it again, broke back through to this previous level here that we've got. Once we tested that, sold all the way up to the 3181 level, which, just to remind you, is this level right here. All right, so after we tested that, we pretty much sold straight off. And let me get my tool back. So we took out this little low right there, tested it, continued to move down, retraced this small level of supply, and since then we've kind of been shopping just below the low that was put in right here. So we've got these lows here that we're testing, and then also we do have this major zone around 3100. Below that, let's actually take a look and see what we've got coming up. So I'm going to put this back to an hourly chart. Check below. We do have some levels there. I know we're going to need to go back quite a while, so I'm changing that to 90 days so we can see what kind of levels we're dealing with. So that low was put in on December 3rd. Was the last time we were there. And here we are. I'm gonna expand this so we can see what we're dealing with. So let's grab the horizontal line tool. This low right here is the next level below. This high, I would call that a minor level, just because when we broke it, we shopped around it as soon as we broke through. So I'll get that in a second. This one, we broke cleanly and have yet to retest. This low here, this low here, and then I'll put this in and I'll make it a minor level. So this might do for now. There we go. Go back to where we are now. So looking ahead, there's quite a bit of levels down there. Of course, not all of them are going to be respected, but once we get down there, we'll see which ones we're responding to and update those accordingly. So that wraps up the technical side. We've got resistance around 3181. Above that, you've got the 3200 level, and then another major level at 3212. So these three levels here are going to be pretty significant. Below, we've got the 3100 level. We've got this 3071 daily level, and then below that, we've got quite a few other levels. I would imagine that this round number that we've got here around 3050, and then down here we've got the 3000 level. So I know it's a lot of levels. We're just putting them out there so that when we get there, we can see if the market's respecting them, and we'll get rid of the ones that are not being respected. So that wraps up the technical side. Let's take a look at the calendar and see what kind of event risk we have on the horizon. All right, so looking at the economic calendar for the next couple days, we do have some data coming out, but just due to the fact that it's going to take a while for us to see data that reflects the impact of the coronavirus, which we won't see for quite a while, this is going to be overshadowed by the headlines surrounding the coronavirus, just as pretty much every day has been going recently. As far as the scheduled data, the core PCE index that I mentioned in previous videos is the preferred inflation measure of the Fed, so they tend to watch that more than CPI, so that's probably going to be the one that I'm most interested in. However, it's probably not going to be as market moving as the headlines. Now, speaking of headlines, President Trump said that there will be a coronavirus news conference at 6 p.m. Eastern, so that's in a little bit more than an hour, so we'll see if there's any impact from that. So yeah, thanks for watching, and we'll check back in 24 hours for another update.